Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Sunday, March 19th, 2023. We are, in fact, going to be playing some Kerbal Space Program 2 today. There was a patch, a rather large patch to the game this past Thursday, and I would like to go back, see how much has improved slash not improved with the game since that patch. We streamed the game on launch day and did not have that particularly great of a time with the game. So, since we last met, some things have changed outside of just there being a new patch. You see, I got a new graphics card. When we last played on launch day, I had a 1080 Ti, a NVIDIA GTX 1080 Ti graphics card. Still good. It's a good card, but showing its age with this particular game. Of course, this particular game, not particularly well optimized. I would expect to have actually had decent frame rates with that GPU, but, well, we didn't on launch day, and I can't really present this game well if we're not even getting 30 frames per second. So, I now have a RTX 4070 Ti in my system. It's a little bit of an upgrade. It's about twice as powerful as the graphics card it has replaced. So now everything should be awesome in terms of frame rate. I have also set graphics. They should all be high, and it looks like they have fixed the highlighting issues on this page. We are on full high settings, max settings for this particular graphics card, and it doesn't have as bad of frame rate issues even before this recent patch. This is my first time loading up the game with the new patch, so I'll get to see live with you what effect this has had even on my new graphics card that I have, because previously I was seeing that while the frame rates were consistently above 30 frames per second, and often also above 60, it would very much go into 40s and 30s, which is frankly a little too low for a game like this on as strong as a graphics card as what I have. I would expect to be above 60 at all times, but we'll get there eventually, ideally. By some point before the game officially hits 1.0. For now, it is still in early access. We do not have all of the features. We still do not have atmospheric heating effects, nor will we in Update 2. That has been confirmed. We will not see atmospheric effects for these first 2 patches that are coming up. The next patch is going to be at least 3 weeks away, so it won't be for at least 6 more weeks until we see atmospheric heating effects if it hits in Update 3. Oh boy. So until then, we don't need to build ships with any thermal management, but we're going to do so anyway, just as a matter of, best practice. What do I have all my settings to on here? I've got the Steam FPS in the top left-hand corner, if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it. It's a dark gray on gray right now, but it's at 144 frames. That's because VSync is on. Hey, who'd have thought VSync, it would actually limit the the menu frame rate. So we're going to start a new campaign today. Just let's see. So this one is update 1. Our flag. What do we want our flag to be? What shall we be today? We shall be this guy. Last time we were Kraken. This time, let's not have as much Krakenage going on, ideally. As for our colors, I want that one, and I want that one. Yes, set agency colors. I do not want the first time user experience because, well, this isn't my first time in the game. So what do we want to do? What do we want to do? Chat, tell me. Where do we want to go first? What do we want to do? On the launch stream, we went to the moon, and sorta to min-miss. We had some issues because of bugs on those journeys, but yeah, we did it. We did the thing. We did land on the moon and return last time. Yeah, there was an issue. I don't know if it's still an issue, where the game would get buggier and buggier the longer that you played it without restarting. And the more you, reverted launches and launched more things, there would be progressively more that would just go wrong. But hopefully now it won't be quite as bad. So here's the, main Kerbal Space Center. We can see that the frame rate when I zoom out, whereas previously I would be sub 20 on the previous graphics card, now we are around 50. We are dipping into the 40s, upper 40s from here in FPS, so it could still be better, and it should be better. And these clouds shouldn't look like utter garbage on high settings from this viewpoint, but, well, still early days. These things should improve. At least it's playable. At least it's playable. If not ideal, still playable. So let's head into the VAB and start designing a ship to do something. To do something or other. Of course, the frame rate goes all the way back up once we are in the VAB. We're getting over 100 frames here. Of course, I'm only streaming in 30 right now. That's partly because, I am playing a Factorio playthrough where we are at a point in the game where the game is running at below 60 frames. So in order to maintain a consistent experience, I started to stream at 30. So since this game is also playing at less than 60 at times, I am going to continue to stream this in 30 frames per second, just so that the stream should be of a consistent quality as we go along, even though my experience is going to not be so consistent. Just for reference, also, the monitor that I'm playing this on is a 144 hertz monitor. It is running at that speed. Technically, my secondary monitor is also supposed to be 144, but it's aged, it's old, and it might be able to support it. I know that the 1080 Ti, when I had it hooked up to it, I was having actually some issues with that monitor at 144. I've had it at 120 for a while, and it seemed pretty stable at the 120. I think partly it's just its age. I've had it for many years at this point. I just don't think it can actually handle the 144 anymore. And I have a TV to my side, and that's just a 1080p TV running at normal, 60 hertz. So, yeah, what do we want to do? Where do we want to go? We sort of looked at the moons of Kerbin last time. Do we want to go interplanetary? It has been It has been a while since I've done any like interplanetary transfers in Kerbal Space Program without mods to assist with planning for interplanetary transfers. I, in fact, don't think I've ever done it without a mod. So this will be interesting if we want to go interplanetary. Also, not even remotely certain about how much fuel I will need to go somewhere interplanetary to any particular body. Since this is a new game, I'm sure that the delta V values have changed significantly compared to before. I could look up, they've got infographics for KSP 1 that give you delta V values for various transfers, but it assumes that you're making an efficient transfer, and chances are without a planner, an adequate planner for interplanetary travel, we are not going to be all that efficient at the moment. So I want to bring up this so that I can see some thrust to weight values, and I want to bring up this, which still unfortunately just says from Kerbin. I would imagine that with this trip planner, that from Kerbin might be an option that we get to change when we get access to colonization, if colonization allows you to build and launch ships from other bodies beyond Kerbin. That would be a very important thing to have access to, right? I would hope that that would be a thing that we could do. So, should we do a one-way trip to Eve? just a one-way trip to Eve, because there's no getting off of that planet. Just for reference, we could ignore the delta V to land, but just bear in mind that the delta V to get off the planet is that same number. Yeah, 8,000. Oh boy, yeah, 8,000 to just leave the planet. And you need a very, like, strong engine to do so, set of engines to do so. It's all because of the density of the atmosphere. It has a very, very, very dense atmosphere that you have to fight against to get off and out of Eve. So if we ignore surface landing on there in its entirety, with maybe a one-way lander, I don't know, we can do... so they say it's another 1,000, about 1,500 to get there, intercept. Another 1,300 for low orbit, but you could actually reduce that with aero braking. So, set this back to one way. Subtract 8,000 from that value, and that's about what I would expect. So, at least 6K? We'll build a ship that's huge and go from there. Just make something that could go basically anywhere, at least on a one-way trip. What do we want to start with as our command pod? Yeah, I don't know if I want to land. But I guess we'll go with this. It's nice because we can put stuff on the top of this. Do we even have a... where's the Utility parachutes. Hi. Do we even have a parachute that fits on top of this? I don't think so, no. Currently there are no medium parachutes, which weird that they wouldn't have brought that in. There are radials, right? Yeah, radial mount parachutes, so that can be a thing if we land. And that would be more than enough for an Eve landing. Yeah, should be good. We'll put that under there so we get a bit more control authority. I guess we'll probably want to have a ladder. Maybe. Depends how I design the rest of this. How far do you extend? Oh, pretty far. Whatever. We'll manage. Okay, this will land by parachute without the intent of leaving, so I just need legs. I just need legs. Extend so I get a better idea. Yeah, that's alright. Retract. Give me... Ah, right, I'm going to need solar and I'm going to need batteries. Battery. And solar panels, ideally. Don't even know how well they'll even work. Give me... whatever. Give me 2 of these there. Now, when these extend, they'll look like that. There we go. Then... what? We don't have any science, unfortunately, at this moment in time. Which sorta sucks, but oh well. Do I... Alright, I need, like, the... I said I was going to use heat shield stuff, so I'm going to use heat shield stuff. Where the heck are you in this list? Thermodynamics, where are you? There. Thermal. Go. Even though it literally does nothing at the current point in the game, we're still going to have it. It'll be glorious. Alright. What I want on the top of you, because you could actually throw on a one of these and one of these on top of it as well. If you really want to have a giant hat, you can just stack your stuff there. Or like nose cone or anything like that. I would imagine as we go along that this would be a good spot to put like sciences. But we don't have any, so we just need something aerodynamic up here, like a nose cone. As dumb as that looks, just a big blunty rounded end. That, I think, will be fine as our payload. Now, what I will need is a decoupler, large decoupler, and I will need fuel tank, large, relatively small. They're there really needs to be a indicator for shape on this, because these are not round. They've got flat sides on them. Similarly, up here at medium, we've got the diamond shapes, and sometimes it can be a little bit difficult, especially if you have like one of these converters from diamond to round. I wish that was better visually indicated by the like this color-coded marker here. Like to have some extra section here that's like the shape, like a circle, or if it's a converter, have it like diamond, arrow, circle next to it. And similarly here, it's like this is diamond to double small circle, right? Diamond to double small circle. Anywho, so let's try to find the small round and put on an engine. Large, this one. Alright, what are our values here? Okay, so the current delta V is 2533. Thrust weight is 1.022. Alright, that's fine. Where does it tell me, like, stage-based delta V? Like, hello? Here. Hey, look, it's an arrow button thingy. It's a pop-out menu. And that tells you your stage delta V. Right there. Right there. Hey, that info is there. We can see it in the VAB. It's glorious. Alright, next. Couples. Large. Go. So it's weird. They have extra large fuel tanks. They have the extra large fuel tanks. And yet, they don't have extra large, like, actual engines. They don't have extra large engines. So, like, what? Huh? You have extra large tanks, you don't have extra large engines for those tanks? Like, really? Okay, you make us have to manually place our own stuff there, and you don't even give a proper, like, entity to snap smaller thingies to, smaller engines to? Because there is a like this multi-engine mount that's extra large, but it doesn't have nodes. It doesn't have nodes on it. There's nothing to set it to for nodes. There's like fairing settings for whatever reason on this thing. It is a multi-engine mount, woohoo! But like, there's no point if we can't snap engines to nodes on it. Like, huh? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, do I throw a bunch of swivels on here, like 8 swivels on this thing? Like, huh? And then something in the middle. There, 9. It's just so arbitrary to me. Like, I want it snapped. I want to be able to tell it, hey, how many engines do I want to mount on this thing and have like define the nodes and have them be mathematically calculated correctly on it. Anyway, whoops. Well, at least undo works-ish. Alright, give me a fuel tank that is large to extra large. You know, I would expect a longer version. What? That is not worded correctly. That says medium to large Methalox fuel adapter. This is actually a large to extra large Methalox fuel adapter. And there should be one that's an extendo that's longer at some point, I would hope. So then if I throw that on the bottom, what does that say now? Oh, 4,667 delta V. Woo-woo. Our 9 small engines on the base of that thing. Great. What's the delta V? Is it even greater than 1? No, it's not. It's not even close. It's not even close with only 9 small engines. So like, what is the point of this medium mount? I don't get it. Of this, like, extra large engine mount. Like, do I really need to use mainsails? Do you want me to throw 8 mainsails on there? Well, they're too big. They're too big. They clip out. 8 main... Or is that 6? Is that 6? Yes, that's 6. Here, 8. 8. We shall 8 mainsail. And they stick off the edge of this. And then we have 2.7. That's a bit much there, but we do have 4,184 delta V. This thing can get to orbit in one stage. Single stage to orbit, basically. With those settings. 6,718 total. Still not as much as I would like. If I only put 1 mainsail on there, we got 0.382. Now, if we have 4, what do we got? We got 1.45. Alright. It could work with 4 mainsails. Do mainsails even have, like, thrust vectoring? It doesn't say. It doesn't say it on the statistics screen whether or not an engine is capable of vectoring, which is odd. I mean, that's the whole point of the swivel engine, is that it vectors, whereas the Reliant does not. I don't think the mainsail does, but I think the skipper is supposed to. Alright then. Mammoth! The Mammoth! The Mamathian. You have exactly 1.0 thrust to weight, so we would need to add more stuff on the sides. Don't know again whether or not this is capable of control authority. But that does give me 4381 delta V. It's just I wouldn't want this particular one if I'm going to have side boosters. I would much prefer Rhino. But then I would need more than one. Woohoo. Then I would need more than two, actually. $1.587. There we go. And 4845 Delta V on this stage with the Rhino. This is because this is going to end up getting used in space for the interplanetary transfer orbit, or transfer maneuver, I should say. I would think. I would think it would help with that. Maybe. Maybe. We look weird, but we could launch like this if it's just going to be one way, without a return. I do want stabilizers. What's my orientation? Let me get my orientation right here. Same with these guys. I need them to be at least somewhat aligned, and try to pull them in as best I can, as close together as I can, and we'll see if that causes some physics issues. I don't know if that's gonna cause physics issues. I haven't used this this thingy at all before. The multi-engine mount, extra large multi-engine mount. It seems a little weird in its existence. So we got a basic thing for a one-way trip somewhere. With landing ability. So, let's go with it, I think. This is a one-way journey. Save. One. Way. Save. Ah, it's nice. They did fix that little niggling issue with the stuff here being like really low resolution images. They've actually fixed it. It's great. It's fantastic even. Who do we want on here? Let's just do random folks. Random folks. Let's not send Bill out. Let's send randoms who will never return. I wonder if they fixed the issue about the Kerbals not returning when you are supposed to recover the vessel. I wonder if they fixed that vessel recovery issue. I would hope so. They fixed a lot in the patch. I sort of looked at it, but yeah. Anyway, launch. Let's get out. Let's get oot and a boot. Alright. Everything seems fine. Just make sure all of this is good. Seems like it. Yeah, let's go. SAS is on. 30 FPS. 29 FPS. Alright, start pitching. 6, Apo 5, 6, 8. We do have thrust control. Base vectoring control on these engines. That's nice. I'm just tapping my keyboard keys to try to pitch over. Not the most efficient launch, but it's fine. It gets the job done. Of course, we are in space and we are above 70K apoapsis. I think we can go pure horizontal now. Keep us somewhat stable around the horizon line. Once we hit like 80 to 100K, I think closer to 100K, we'll stop. And then we'll circularize up at the apoapsis, but we need to wait to set our maneuver until we are out of the atmosphere. We're still well within the atmosphere. We are getting dragged back down a little bit, but that's okay. Everything is fine. We successfully got here on this initial stage. Just FYI, we still have like close to 1,000 Delta V on this stage. And we will be able to circularize on this stage. This is most definitely qualifying as a single stage to orbit. Let's speed up a little bit until we are out of the atmosphere. At 70,000 meters above the ground-ish. Well, 70,000 from sea level. This is actually from ground. So the actual transition might happen not exactly at 70. Because yeah, this is from ground and not from sea. See, now I can see, hey, we are actually in space now, because from sea we are above 70. See, if you click on this thing, it'll shift between sea and ground. And clicking here gives you surface and orbit. See, that's a thing that just completely eluded me on the first stream. Is because this didn't, like, automatically, I think, shift between the two things. Because you can totally have up, prograde, north, south, down, and retrograde. Humma. It's good to know distance to ground when you are landing, but when you are taking off and trying to leave the atmosphere, it is a bit more important to know distance above sea level, because that's how the game is calculating thing. Hello? Oh. It does not let you create a maneuver node whilst the game is paused. They've also changed a little bit on this maneuver node. They've changed the iconography and spread it out a little bit, which is significantly better. That is significantly better. Alright, let's go up to here. Time warp limited. Whatever. It's fine, game. It's fine. Start burn in. 20 some odd seconds. Alright, I guess I should extend my panels. And I guess I should point at the node, huh? That would help. Oh, come on, game. Why did you... What? It ditched the stage. It ditched the stage. When I didn't push the button to ditch the stage. It still has that issue, apparently. This was an issue last stream on launch day, and that wasn't fixed. Just random staging happening without any input given. Like, what? What? What did I do? I didn't push the button to stage. Well, it's not a problem. I just lost like 900 plus Delta V, close to 1,000 Delta V, because the game decided it wanted to stage without me telling it to stage. Like, that's a bunch of BS. That's total BS. Anyway. We have 2,000 Delta V, 2,274 to get to Eve. So, where shall we do this thing? I never remember. It's nice that we see our orbit line from here. Right, so there's Eve. I believe I have to go... Here. I have to go from this side. Alright. Let's have a look-see. Well, that gets me within, like, Eve's orbit, but it is apparently not the greatest of time to do this maneuver. Of course. Of course, of course. So, how can I get there now? And that would be 1,000 Delta V, 1,056. So we've got some to work with here. I go and move this around. It's still gonna end up right where I started, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, more Delta V. Huh? Ah, we now no longer have enough Delta V. Oh, and we are, you know, skimming the atmosphere at that level. What? Alright, this maneuver just, you know, glitched the hell out. Oh, I see. I see what was going on. So I'm just trying to fine tune. Well, hey Eve, can I like set you as a target, please? No, that's Gilly. I need Eve. I need Eve, not Gilly. Eve. Eve. Target. So, what does it tell me about if I redo this node again? Get out. Alright, how do I... read this? Target at intersect 1 distance from target a lot. If I do a maneuver out there, no. Oh, that got rid of everything. Wonderful. Wonderful. Great game. Great. Fantastic design. Thanks. Thanks so much for deleting every node rather than just the one I was working on. So I think that what this means is that when I cross here, the planet is actually here. I think that's what it means. That's the distance that is at issue here. And I think on this, that this means that on the second pass, I'm gonna get close. 66,000 kilometers. So if I do this maneuver, I think what this means is that it will be easier for me on like the second swing around to intersect with Eve. But it's going to leave me with like not much delta V to work with. Shall we go with it? I think we could just go with that. Just be in space for a little while before the next doohickey. I would need to perform a maneuver at the ascending node to adjust the plane. Aha! And now it says that I will have an encounter with Eve. Can you please focus, Eve? It doesn't wanna. It doesn't wanna. Can I look at it, please? Can I hit, like, a button to escape? Can I go to menu and open thingy here and then be like, yo, Eve? Eve, can I view you? Apparently not. Not when I have thingies. But that should be good. That should be good. I get there on the second pass. Assuming everything goes to plan. Which, you know. That's a pretty big assumption to make. Alright, go to maneuver node. Warp to maneuver. And for the love of God, don't stage. Do not stage. That would be really bad. I would have to actually revert and do everything all over again. We are off. I will have to redo that plane change maneuver, I'm certain, because there's no way that we can mathematically, like, actually do this maneuver, like, perfectly. Our orbit will be a little bit different than when I built that next maneuver, so it will need to change. That's always been the case in Kerbal Space Program. 3, 2, 1, stop! See, that says delete all maneuvers, rather than just deleting the one. No, you delete everything every time. What? The actual living hell. And could you please let me click on Eve? Alright, now where's my ascending node and descending node? Huh? This? Is this it now? No, it's there. Okay. Well, you need to go there on the ascending node, and let me change the plane. To 0, and now apparently we are not at all entering the sphere of influence. Wonderful. Do I need to go down? Yes, I do need to go slower. Aha, I see. I am turning. Alright, that should be good. But my goodness, that's a pretty big burn. Oh well. That's just the way of it. Let us advance. Let us advance. Oh god. Oh gosh, my stream. My stream. Why are you lagging? Why are you lagging? Stream. 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 How be stream? Are we like circles? Are we loading? Circling? Because I don't see any issue on my end. I don't actually see a bitrate issue on my end, and yet my own stream is like lagging for whatever reason. Get to that sphere of influence change. Okay. We are out of the Kerbal sphere of influence. Woohoo. Looks perfect for you? Okay, then it might just be my own internet being awful. Okay, we are here. Our maneuver node is going to be in a while. So let's see what the warp to maneuver node does this time around. Limited due to proximity to celestial body. What celestial body? Like, you left me 16 minutes from the maneuver node. Like, come on. Alright, we're at 30 seconds. That's fine. And only the sun is my point of reference. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Stop. Alright, are we encountering Eve? Yes, we are encountering Eve on the second pass. So it's going to be a while before we actually encounter Eve, because we will be, when we cross over the first time, this 1A, Eve is going to be like all the way down here by the time we get to its orbit on our first pass. But it looks like by the time we swing back over here, so it's not quite, or is it? I don't know. It's hard to read this sometimes. So can I please focus Eve? Game? Can I click on Eve? I can focus Gilly. Can I focus Eve? Focus Eve. There we go. Okay, we're a bit further out than I was expecting. So I need to adjust that to be closer at some point. Wonder if I can do it here. Alright, so a bit of a prograde burn should actually move me closer. Yeah. So if I just burn prograde. Oh yeah, that did it. That did a thing. That will not end well. That will not end. Stop. I'm trying to just tap and my freaking keys, my own hand betrays me. All right. That'll work. It's just extremely sensitive. Why are you moving? Still, you almost look like you're still moving, but we're at dead stop. Okay. Okay. That'll do. That'll do. We did it. We did it. We did thing. We did the thing. Now we warp. Now we warp. Not maximum, because, you know, that would be bad. That would not be ideal. As that was first approach. Looks like it is this second approach that will get us there. We're closing in. We're closing in. I did not push the button to go faster. And it went faster. And it did not stop on the transition. Oh, what the heck? There is a heat bar. For whatever reason. Oh, so it autosaved after the transition. Great. Fantastic. Hello. Heat bars. That stick around. Okay. Yeah, you go off into infinity. Sure. I can't help but notice that that our encounter with Eve takes us beyond Duna. Takes us beyond Duna. We could actually slingshot to Duna, which is interesting. Yeah, these bars are, you know, glitched. It, like, doesn't do anything. It's just, bye, off you go. Was this before or after I modified the orbit? After. Okay. Flashies? Oh god. Flashies. Oh, that's a bug. Did we just... Of course it did. Of course it did. Of course it did. Okay, so what we're probably gonna have to do is we're gonna have to, like, close the game and reload the game. I don't know where all those bars are coming from. Why is there no, like, warp to SOI entrance? I don't know. What do you mean lack of solar exposure? You have plenty of solar exposure. So this will time warp to just beyond the sphere of influence change. Alright, hello. We have arrived. Hey, Eve. Focus. So the periapse is... what? 175. What is Eve's, atmosphere, height? KSP Eve atmosphere height. Oh, hey, like, autocomplete, says 96,708.6. 96, so we have to bring that periapse down. Retrograde. Point me retrograde. What? Alright, we are within the atmosphere now. Question is, if we are just barely within the atmosphere, would it do me better to use the rest of my delta V on this retrograde burn, or use it here, which will be more delta V than I have, to try to slow down? I think I think it would be better to try to get as low into the atmosphere as possible. Alright, so yeah, if I do continue burning... Because we don't have to worry about heat effects, right? We don't have any heat effects, so you know what? I'm just gonna burn until I'm out of fuel. I don't need to revert to launch. This was my intent from the very beginning. What I can do is I can go sideways. I can stage. Put myself retrograde, and the solar panels will have to come in. But for now, we just need to do a little bit of time warping. Do a little bit of time warping until the game decides, hey, you can't time warp anymore. You are not allowed to do this thing. Oh, that's another key thing about Eve, is that it does have ocean. It is actually mostly ocean. So, yeah, that can be a problem. That could be an issue. Alright, so the thing is at 100 kilometers. Atmosphere begins at 100 kilometers above sea level. Alright, point the retro. SAS, point the retro. Oh, it paused. Point the retro. Let's see if that was good enough to at least get captured by Eve. And I will pull those solar panels in at this point, because we are in the atmosphere. Periapsis is declining, but the key thing here is to get captured by Eve. As long as we get captured before we leave the atmosphere, we don't have to worry about anything. We will land, ultimately. It might take a while, but we will eventually land. Off they go. And it's getting closer. It's getting closer. It's getting closer. We are captured, and we will land. Took all of our fuel to do it, but yeah, we are captured. We will land eventually. We'll not be on this pass, but we will land. And we are currently exiting the atmosphere. We're still within the atmosphere until about 100K, so I'm gonna wait a little bit until we get access to our time warp again, and then time warp and come back and do it all over again. We'll probably land on this next pass. We'll see, because the atmosphere is particularly thick. And we can only really do this because of the power of not having actual thermal effects, you know? Alright, we have access to our time warp again. So I will time warp all the way around and slow down the time warp as we go closer. Alright, pass 2. Now the apoaps will decrease more. Hopefully we land this pass, but it might not. We might not. If we don't land by the time we pass the periapsis, then chances are we have one more pass, but it looks like we will in fact land this time around. Question is, are we going to land on the surface, or are we going to land in water? When that apoaps goes below the atmosphere, are we going to need to do another pass? I think we're going to have to do another pass. Okay, it took 3. It took 3, because I don't see that apoaps falling below 100 kilometers. We actually get another pass. Okay. Now I know. This time we will land. Periaps will go down to 0 on us on this pass. I guess I can do landing legs at this point. We can technically arm the parachutes. Don't know if they've been armed or not. Alright, now they are armed. They will only deploy when it is safe to deploy. At least they should only deploy when it's safe to deploy. And that'll slow us down the rest of the way, and we will be landed. Now, surface. Yes, surface. At this point up. Looks like we are pretty much pointed up at this point. We have lost our horizontal velocity. So now we're just landing. Still pretty high up, but we have slowed down considerably. Wow, this atmosphere does slow you down a lot all by itself without even needing the parachutes. So parachutes, when are you gonna do your thing? Still says unsafe on the parachutes. You're at 1,000 meters above sea level. You're at 143 above the ground, and you still say it's unsafe? So, apparently parachutes don't work on Eve at all. Apparently there's still a little bit of issue with the game. A couple of issues still remain that prevent missions from being successful. You know, just utter BS still happening. Those chutes should have deployed. We were going plenty slow enough for parachutes to deploy, and they refused. They refused to deploy, despite being armed, and despite it, I know for a fact, being safe. And despite pushing the literal button to deploy the chutes, they did not deploy. Because screw you, I guess. So, yeah. We made it to Eve. We landed on Eve. Still lots of bugs in this game, even with a lot of the fixes. Like, sure, frame rate said in the 30s range on Eve. Hi. Well, welcome to Eve. It looks nice. Nice, the sun there. Don't know if this is sunset or sunrise, but yeah, can't go to the map. Can't really do anything unless we revert or go back. We'll revert, and I will reload the game because yeah, it seems we're getting issues with loading of the game multiple times. Go back to Kerbal Space Center. Can I save? I can save. Alright, look, when I click the end of this, I expect it to not select the last character on the very first click. Like, I intend a double... Single click to select the whole thing is fine. The next click should always put me on the end to append. I guess I just clicked too fast. It thinks that I'm double clicking, and that I consistently am double clicking when I'm not. The hell was that purple? Hold on, there's like lights on the island over there. Oh, that we've got lighting effects. Bugged lighting effects on that island over there, showing up from here. Purple, and like green laser going across. Flashes, green, flashes, purple. Okay, I have to quit the game completely and reload the game because, well, bugs accrue and are accruing. The more that we play. Why? Because that's just how it is right now. What? But I was logged in already. Launcher? I was logged in already. Why are you telling me I need to log in? It says I'm logged in! Get your launcher right, for the love of God. Launcher's like, hey, you need to log in. I click the button to log in. It takes me to a web browser that says you're logged in. If I'm logged in, don't send me to a web page to say that I need to log in. Like, don't say I need to log in when I'm already logged in. Like, that is an incredibly stupid thing to ever have happen. Like, just, no. Don't do that. Anyway, hi, we're here. We have arrived. Hi. Uh, yeah, load game. At least it loads fast. Ish. Maybe. Ah, okay, we're here. Hi. Where else do we want to go? Maybe. Ah, so, what can I do to this vessel? What can I do to you? It worked fine, getting out there. This lander is, of course, designed to not land on its own. Shall I design it to be able to land on its own? Yeah, I suppose so. Basically, the way to make this be able to land on its own is to just put these down here. Make sure that they can extend beyond or use bigger legs. There is one size larger. Landing. There you are. There is one size larger. I would not consider this... I would not consider this large legs. I would consider this extra large legs. But, they get the job done. So, that'll be wonderful. Having those a little lower. That should work better. Now we can assume that this lander section should be able to return home. Should be able to return home. In the alternative, we could design something a little bit more elaborate. Shall we design something a little bit more elaborate? I don't know how well the game will handle something that is a little bit more elaborate than this, because, yeah, there were issues. I think they got fixed, though, with docking and undocking. So the way to make this a little bit more elaborate is to design it in a similar method to how the Artemis program for the moon is going to be handled. Similar, not quite the same, but similar, because in this case what we will end up doing is establishing a base, an orbital station, as we have a cat. Hello, Ollie. Ollie has joined. Ollie has joined me. What we would end up doing is having an orbital station around whatever body we want to land this payload at, and use that orbital station for refueling of the lander, basically. And just have separate missions that will bring fuel to the orbital station and use that as fuel for our actual, like, lander or return craft, or lander plus return craft. Who knows? We could do this thing. Yes, we have Ollie. Hello, Ollie. You want attention? Yes, you want attention. You want attention. You like your pets. You want your pets, big boy. Big boy, you don't know why I'm streaming today? Mr. Cat not used to me streaming on this day. Yes, he's not used to it. Alright, you going? You're going? So that would be a little bit more elaborate. Would be to establish an orbital refueling facility around whatever body we plan on going to, or a series of orbital refueling stations around whatever location we plan on going to and exploring. So let's think of it in terms of that methodology. let's consider that. So as we stand, if I take that off, and if I put a clampetron, are they here? Yeah. If I put one of these on the end of this as a medium, the clampetron senior docking port. If I do that, I would also need RCS. That's just the engine. Do I have, is there a separate... Yeah, here. Give me thruster blocks. And that should help. I'll add more here. We will need monopropellant. How do we want to add monopropellant? There is a medium monoprop fuel tank, but that's going to be a bit much for this, so I think we could stick them here. And that should be enough for orbital maneuvers. For docking maneuvers. Since this already has a reaction control thruster on it, or wheel on it. Embiggened. Okay, we have big, the big boy. Yes, we have the big monoprop thingy as well. Okay. So when this is fully fueled, it will have 2,114 meters per second of delta V. Cool. It will have that, and that can be our general landing pod, basically. Now, I'm gonna get rid of that. We can redo that, and I will save this as lander. Oh, now it says 1,057 for whatever reason. Huh? Now it says 1,057. What happened to 2,000? Oh, because now it's telling me... Now it's telling me surface delta V and not vacuum delta V. Now it's on surface level. Right. Because that's another thing I would have to consider if I use this for, say, Duna. That's atmospheric, technically. So is Eve. Eve is atmospheric, and so are some moons. There's a couple moons of Jool that have atmospheres. Like, there are multiple bodies with atmospheres that you have to fight against if you want to leave. So this will probably be the vacuum lander, landing on bodies without atmospheres. What is your thrust to weight 0.902. That, for Kerbin, that should be fine on any other body without an atmosphere to leave it. I don't think that there's any body without an atmosphere in the Kerbin system, or Kerbolar system, that has as much gravity as Kerbin to leave. So, yeah, this should be fine. Of course, this is before we have access to science experiments that would add more weight, and therefore we would need more fuel to lift off and do our stuff. But for now, that should be fine. Okay, if this is the lander, we would also need to design a actual, like, refueling station that would exist separate from this. So I do want to make sure that that is saved. And I want to do new, yes. So what this will be is the actual quote-unquote space station that will be used as a refueling center because there's no science to do yet. So what are we going to do with this? We will need a pod, command and control. Ideally, I would want it to be, like, huge, but, nah. Having the cupola module should be fine. Just as long as we've got probe core on it so that it operates. Oh, right, I need to, like, have a stupid satellite network if I want things to actually be unmanned. But for the moment, this will actually be manned, so maybe I don't even need that for now. It's just in the future, once all of the features are part of the game and everything is working well, I would be designing space stations around having the ability to not have a crew and still be able to do stuff. Alright, next tab. It's interesting because under, like, the pods and things, you don't have the hitchhiker from KSP1. There is the hitchhiker. It exists under crew cabin, but under what? I guess it's here under payloads? Yeah, under payloads, you've got the hitchhiker 4-seat crew cabin, which is medium, and then you have the Wayfarer 8-seat extra, or 8-seat large cabin. Interesting. Good luck getting that out into space. Should we design that? Originally 2 hitchhikers welded together. Okay. Don't see how this is 2 of this, but whatever. Let's go big. Let's go huge. Let's go huge. 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 Payloads. This Wayfarer. Yeah. Yeah. Let me get... coupling. Give me one of these on that. Give me... excuse me. Pretty sure that needs to go the opposite direction. Yes. Ahem. Yeah. So this will be sectionalized, obviously. What I'll be doing with the station is I'll have small, quote-unquote, units for the station. This is one unit. It does not have fuel, though. Any amount of fuel, so I might want to add a section of large fuel just so that it has it built in. And I suppose it will want monoprop as well. So give me a section of monopropellant as well as the doohickeys. Let there be these. Might need more. I just don't want to block the thingy. The ladders. There we go. That should be fine. Yeah, that should be fine. Now, solar and electrical. Yeah, we need all that too. So, oh boy, give me multiple batteries. And give me the actual, like, RCS, too. I need reaction control wheels. Where are those again? I always forget. I always forget. Where are my wheels? Wheels. Yay, wheels. To go along with the monoprop, because overkill. Because we're going overkill. Solar. Solar. Gib. Extendo. Wee. Yes. Yes. Stuff. Okay. This needs to get sent into orbit of any celestial body. And this is only part 1 of many. Part 2 is going to be a core that will be more dedicated to having additional attachment points on it. The smaller attachment points on it. And that will be more ideal for it. Now, this is not something that I would necessarily assemble in the orbit of Kerbal. not fully assemble in the orbit of Kerbin and then like try to move somewhere else. This is something I would ideally take somewhere else piecemeal. So there is a favorites thing. I could favorite things if I wanted to. If I so desired. Of course, if I was sending this very far away, I would want an RTG. This thing is, I think, a forever RTG as opposed to some of these previous ones. Which, yeah, see, this thing holds half a ton of uranium. This thing does not hold any uranium as the 500. And then there are fuel cells. There's this very small RTG, which does not have fuel, which will last forever. So you have this tiny one that makes an amount of power. It doesn't say how much power it generates. Weird. This one says it produces 500 U, or holds 500 U of power units. Okay. Whereas this thing uses power, uses uranium for whatever reason. And then there are fuel cells that use fuel to produce power as well, as a bit of a backup. So that bad things don't happen. Ahem. 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 Realistically speaking, I would want some sort of an antenna, some sort of a really big antenna on some of these, but this is going to be manned at all times, this particular thing, so I don't think we need an antenna on you, and there's no science to transmit yet, so yeah, not necessary. Not necessary. Now I will need to launch this and put it into an orbit. Hello, I am being joined by the Dolly. Hi. Hello, baby. Hi, Dolly. We've now had both the babies show up. Yay. We've had both of the babies. Both of the babies. Yes, both of the babies. Hey, doll. Pretty Dolly. Pretty Dolly wants her pets too. Yeah, she wants her pets too. Wee wee. Wee wee wee, my Dolly wants her pets too. Yeah. Yeah, how's that baby? How's that baby? Yeah. Hello, doll. Yeah, baby. How's it sweet? Okay, how are we gonna, like, get this up and out? That's a wonderful question. How in the world will I get this up and out? I'm not going to use a fairing. Just seems dumb to do so. I will need a decoupler. Large. Might want to use a stack separator in this particular instance. Yeah, that'll help push both ends away, because we're actually going to be technically splitting this. Technically, it's going to be more of a splitting action. Since, yeah, we're going to have not this one, we're going to have this guy on the end there. Ta-da. And the poodle, not the poodle, the labradoodle on the end. Hello, labradoodle. That will be 2,791 meters per second of delta V. No command pod and no parachute. I mean, this is not intended to return, but we do have a... Oh, it has a command pod and no parachute. I was about to say, has no command pod and no parachute. What? Less than 1 thrust weight doesn't matter, because this will only be operating once we are out of the atmosphere, ideally. But the important thing here is that this needs to be able to get somewhere else and then stop. And then stop. So I've also been looking at... Yeah, hello. There is this. There is nuclear, which without the heating system currently is a rather good option if you're just interested in getting somewhere with something light, that is. Cough, cough. Because this thing holds a lot. You can just you can make a very, very basic craft if you just want to go somewhere. Or you can do something more elaborate like I've done now. So would I rather use something like this with nuclear to push something like this? I mean, it's too much weight. It's too much weight to think about doing that. The burn time would be immense. Immense. Yeah, like it would be just awful for maneuvers. So we'll stick with this, I guess. I mean, if this section is just going to get ditched anyway, then we could do something a little bit more elaborate, but for now I'll leave it as this, just remembering that even though this is 2791, this is 2791 Delta V on this stage. You can see it here. I think that's at the moment calculating that as surface. It will be vacuum, and it will need to perform a set of circularization burns at a destination. So it will need to get to a destination and stop and circularize in whatever orbit I need it to be at. And in the future, I need it to be able to intercept with an object in orbit so that we can dock. Okay, well, with all that in mind, that's for, like, extreme future me. If I decide to continue playing this, like, in subsequent weeks. At the moment, I am not inclined. We are still a little bit too unstable, frankly. The game is just still a bit too unstable. Oh, that's not what I want. So, what is the button that I have to push to grab the stack without having to click on the root node? Because it is not the same as it used to be. I do not at all know. What just happened? Oh. A thing. That thing, alright. Well, yes, I want that, but I need a tank. I need big Gigantamondo tank. Or I need a converter, an adapter, adaptation. I want more of an adaptation. Eh. No. Tank. Just tank it. Just go. Go do that. Do that. Again, I need to... I want to, like, hold shift and left click and have it grab the whole stack. Or left control and have it grab the whole stack. If I push alt, it's like eyedropper tool. But I need to be able to grab the entire stack and move it and shift it up just a bit. Ha! It's 0.5 thrust to weight. Great! Yeah, I really don't like with this size that you are forced to use those, like, engine mounts. That's like, why? Why is this even a thing? Because then you have to, like, use 2 sizes down. For the medium, like, I can put a mainsail in the middle, and I can put swivels all around. Woohoo. Mainsail and swivels all around. They should be together in the exact same doohickey. Now, why does it say that the thrust to weight ratio is now 0.387? Why is this now less thrust to weight than the singular large thingy? Whoa. Hi. Delete. Really? Is that really how that's supposed to be, like, designed? How that's supposed to work? Because that's dumb. That's, like, super dumb. Hi. That's more than 1. That's more than 1.0 thrust to weight ratio. That'll do it. It's a bit overkill. That's 1.5. 1.2. All right. I just need to, like, get it oriented right. I guess that's straight. Maybe. Maybe. Okay, that gives me a total of 8,022 Delta V, with 5,232 on this first stage. That would get me to orbit, and then some. So from here, I need aerodynamic control. Ideally. And that theoretically works. That theoretically works. That gets me up and out and to a destination. Alright. Is there anything I'm noticeably missing? And what is, like, my mass, center of mass, and all that? Oh boy. I don't think that this is going to be particularly stable when trying to lift off. I don't think that it will be particularly stable. But we'll go with it. I can save this as just core station. Save that. Hello, my dolly. Returning from the window. Yeah, baby. Pretty kitty. As a baby. How's that dolly with her tail sticking up? Oh, you're gonna go on the chair? There she goes. Meow, meow. Meow, meow. Up on the chair. My dolly has gone. Okay. Where do I want to take this is the question. Where shall we take this? As I turn off that camera. Where do we want to set up this station? Because the idea of this station is that it could go around any body. And then our lander can go up to it and dock to it and refuel at it. Land, come back, refuel, land, come back, refuel, land, come back, etc., etc., as long as I've got fuel in orbit for it. And I can, like, bring refueling ships to it over time. That would be an idea, not something I'm thinking would be necessary in the long term, but it is an option. It is a thing that can be done. I just need to decide, well, where are we going to do the thing? We went to Eve. Go to, like, I don't know. Further out? Shall we go further out? Shall we go to the, Dres? Shall we go to Dres? They changed Dres to have the, middle ridge around it with a ring system. Have this orbital station around Dres. Just use it to land around Dres. I don't know. We shall see. Let us go to the launch pad. We'll figure it out once we are actually in orbit. Getting to orbit is the first part. That is the hardest part. So, you know, would be nice to get there first. Let's see how not stable this engine, this setup is. We're not moving. Has the center engine even turned on? I don't know. Revert to VAB. What the hell happened? What in the world? So, all engines should be firing at the same time. And we are supposed to have greater than 1 thrust to weight ratio. So, what happened? I'm guessing that what happened was that the main engine was clipped into the launch mount and stuck. So we will probably need to have the launcher clamps for this particular vessel. We will need those clamps. And again, I wish there was an easier way to click on the full... God damn it! It's not what I wanted. I wanted to just bring it lower to the ground. Because there's no freaking shortcut that makes sense to select the whole thing. Like, let me just select the whole thing. Like, how, what button combo am I supposed to push to be able to select the whole stack? If I can't, that's a problem. Launch. Alright, we're here. Okay, so the thingy lied, I guess. It would appear as if our engineering report has lied and we do not actually have greater than 1.0 delta V. Also, for whatever reason, it staged twice to release the launch clamps, and then it like staged the next stage as well, which is not supposed to happen. Let's try with 6. Fail. So, how am I supposed to use that multi-engine mount again? Because this clearly doesn't work. as we continuously lower our delta V on this initial thingy. Oh, and now it's telling me a completely different number for the delta V of this top stage, for whatever reason. Now this top one is 1269 rather than over 2000 that it had said it was previously. Now we're lower than we used to be by half, more than half, for no good reason. I'm getting rid of these. Just get this thing into orbit. I don't even care anymore. I'm done. I'm just, like, done with this at this point. So... Launch. Launch. Majestic. .8 thrust to weight, by the way. 1.8 thrust to weight ratio, by the way. Okay. Well, there are clearly game-breaking bugs still in the game that, yeah, completely detract from the experience. Yeah, so... Now what? Okay, now we go single section. Now we go decouplers. 4 of them. Near the center of mass. Yes, near the center of mass. And then we go... Side tanks. The what? Okay, don't know why those are not, like, aligned, but whatever. Okay, then more. Just more. Now what do you have to say for yourself? You say 0.603. Great. Maybe not these. All together now. 1.05. That's not enough, game. I don't know about you, but I don't quite think that that's enough. I don't quite think that that is enough. I guess technically I should do the stupid thing with the fuel line and be like, hey, you from, excuse me, game. Click. What? Okay, so it's not letting me do the thing with the fuel lines. I am apparently not allowed to use fuel lines. And we're getting multiple bugs again, so, you know, save it and restart the game because, again, buggy mess. Exit the game entirely because clearly there are multiple issues that arise from the game just running. All right, launcher, you actually worked this time. Play. Load, 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 load. Okay, yeah, this thing is not behaving. The game just doesn't want to behave today. As usual, I guess, but I would have hoped that it would have been better after Update 1. It's slightly better after Update 1, but it is nowhere near acceptable level of ready, even after Update 1. Oh, hi. This was not where I saved. This most distinctly was not where I saved my game. Did I not name my game 3? My save is gone. My save does not exist. Wow. Wow, now that's a major bug. If the game isn't even saving correctly. Yeah, it's not even here. I saved it as date 3. It just doesn't exist. It did not actually save. When I told it to save, it didn't actually save it. We're leaving the VAB to the VAB. We are loading this because apparently it didn't save a goddamn thing that I did to it in the slightest. We're removing you. Where's the stupid decouplers? For you. Large tanks. You on all those. That there. All 5 of you. 1.05 thrust to weight ratio. Great. So, what were we trying to do here? Trying to get that thrust to weight just a bit higher. Also, assign this not struts. Well, yes, struts, but still. Besides struts, needs fuel line here to here. See, now you worked. Now you functioned correctly. What do I do? Okay, that theoretically functions properly. No game, that is not the direction that I want the fuel line to be in. Oh, you popped me up all the way up there. Great. Thanks. You there to there. Huh. Why does that have to be so hard? Alright, now it says we have 1.281. Let me add the, Alright, where's the thingy? You. Hello, Ollie. Ollie has rejoined. There's Ollie. Hi. He's Nuzzles. He's a Mr. Nuzzles. Yeah, she wants to have some attention at the moment. Aerodynamics. Aero. Okay. I swear to God, if this does not work, there will be utter hell to pay. Save. Launch. Oh. Okay, so now the wings just fall off. Apparently the wings just fall off now. For whatever reason. Launch, please. Time for space. You know, it would help if the wings didn't fall off. Every goddamn time. Ollie. Yeah, your lickies. Your lickies. Yeah, your pawn. Pawn and a con. Yeah. Okay. So, why? Is it this? Is it this that's too close to the wings? Hello? That's not what I was clicking. I was clicking on the strut. You know, the strut. You. 4 of you, please. And then something tells me that this is maybe also too close to the wings. You know, game, that is not quite how that works. That is not how that works. That is not in fact how that works. For fuel crossfeed. That's better. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe. Okay, are we allowed to launch now? No, apparently not. We did have one wing survive. One wing survived. The other 3 did not. They just fell off. Because reasons. So, what are the reasons? What is reason for these things falling off? I don't know. Let's make them lower. See if that changes anything. Launch. Are you gonna fall off again? Yep. 2 of them only. Can I do this with just 2? I guess. Let's get daylight, please. Ish. You know, just 60 days passed, whatever, is fine. And all the rest of the thingies fell off. Go. Go. Do you even lift, bro? Yes. You finally lift. Majestic. We are finally lifting. But can we even pitch, though? Sort of. We can sort of pitch. My point prograde. That's a little too much pointing of prograde, but we'll stick with it. We have lost control. Congratulations, we have lost control. We are bent. We are bending. That could be a problem. Being just a little bit bent out of shape at the tip. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So, that was probably going to happen every time, but still, always sucks. More struts helps fix the thing. I could probably get the launch, but frankly, there's no reason why the wings are falling off. Like, that fundamentally is bugged out beyond belief. I guess a fairing around this will rigidize the whole thing. and that would help a bit. Yeah. So, what do you think of the game so far? After update 1, how is the game compared to before update 1? I would say that while they fixed bugs, there are far more bugs that they have not fixed that now are just as bad as the original bugs. So I would say that no, I am not inclined to continue attempting to play this game. To the point where I'm not even inclined to finish my stream today because I am not having fun with this game in the slightest in its current state, which is definitely saying something. That is the thing. That is a statement to make. So I think I'm going to end it here because game is broken, fundamentally, still fundamentally broken, even after update 1, in my opinion. I will attempt to try it again when they release update 2. The Sunday after update 2, we will try again and see what we can do with the game, how many bugs we encounter along the way of a stream. But yeah, I have to say that still extremely disappointed in the game as of update 1, despite the work that went into improving a lot of the aspects of it, a lot of the things that were bugs that got fixed. It's nowhere near enough. Not even close. Not even close to being anywhere near enough. You make us wait 3 weeks to get a patch that fundamentally has not actually improved the experience. Is just fascinating to me how that is even remotely acceptable. So, yeah, just keep on skipping. For the moment, any thoughts of purchasing this game in its current state? It has a long road ahead of it to be even what I would call playable in the first place. As it stands, I would not consider the game playable. Sure, from a frame rate perspective, yes, playable. But from a actual gameplay perspective, no. I would say big red sirens flashing, no. Just from gameplay perspective, there's too many core issues with the game that just deter from the experience far too much. You know, like the game not actually saving when you tell it to save. Like the game not actually saving. I'd say that's a problem. That's a problem. The game doesn't even save when you tell it to save. And that the game just gets buggier and buggier even after a very short amount of time playing it. There are, I think, multiple bugs associated with reverting to VAB, or just reverting, period. There are likely multiple bugs persisting with reverts. It is not properly cleaning up whatever it was doing on revert. So, for now, thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you have, for some reason, joined and enjoyed this video, please be sure to do all the social engagement stuff down below. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you've not yet subscribed, and hit the notification bell. Consider becoming a member of the channel by hitting the great big blue join button and supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat if you are so inclined and able. I will be continuing with my regular streams on Tuesday and Thursday of Factorio and On's Mods. I hope to see you all then, because yeah, I'm not doing this again on a Sunday until